Hello everyone, welcome to our next topic. In this topic, we'll see introduction to IEC, import and exporter code. Under that, we will cover introduction, what is IEC, when IEC required, where IEC is not mandatory, and benefit of IEC registration. So first, there is a basic introduction of IEC. So business that import or export of a goods or service, they are granted 10-digit alphanumeric designation, which we known as import-export designation. Okay. Whenever we import or export of a goods or service without import and export code in for any company, it is prohibited to import or export of goods or service. Okay. So it is utilized by the tax official like custom and DGFT personnel. They utilize the IEC code. Okay. And IEC code is officially issued by the DGFT, means General Director General of Foreign Trade. Okay. They provide you uniquely identify import and export enterprise throughout the India. In additional, Indian economic financially stability is guaranteed by DGFT. Okay. DGFT provide you the financial stability is granted by the DGFT, which employs the IEC code to control the import and export activity of Indian's company. Means DGFT help you to control of import and export activity of Indian companies which employ by IEC code. Okay. So I hope you have understand introduction. What is IEC? So IEC is a company identify number, okay, which required for import into or export for India in the import and export code. Okay, this is an essential company identify number which required when you import into or export from India. Then you need a importer and exporter codes. Unless otherwise exempted. Otherwise, it is exempted. Okay. And no person can import or export without omitting an IEC. IEC means importer and exporter code. Okay. For export of a service, IEC is not required unless it is not given the benefit to the foreign trade policy. If you export the service which is benefit for the foreign trade policy, then the service provider need to be get IEC, importer and exporter code. Okay, ICEC are used in accommodation with a PAN of the company. Means is a if you have a PAN of the company, then is the issue in accommodation with the PAN of the company. As a result, it will help you implementation of GST. And as I mentioned, DGFT will issue the IEC individually or business also is based on your application. Any following business structure may use this IEC, may issue this IEC, importer and exporter code. If there is a partnership, proprietorship, limited companies, trusted, HUF and society, whatever the company structure, they can get the IEC by DGFT. Okay, so I hope you have understand till now introduction of IEC and what is an IEC. When IEC is required, okay, it is obvious question when we need to be get an IEC for import or export, as mentioned the service. Okay, so the custom official required it when importer has to clear his shipment from custom. Okay, when IEC required, when custom officials required it when importer has to clear his shipment from custom. Means when you need to be clear your custom from the shipment of a custom, then you need a IEC code. Okay. Bank need the money that an importer sent overseas by bank. Means when importer send money overseas via banks, then at that time IEC code, IEC required. custom port requirements shipment that export are required to send, means when you need a shipment for the export of a goods, that time the bank required it when an exporter receives, whenever you receive a foreign currency, that time IEC required, that time bank need a IEC immediately into his bank account. Okay, so when ICC required for custom official, whenever the importer of a goods or service, you have to clear from his shipment from custom, shipment from customers custom, you have to clear, then custom official required IC, and you from your side to your business or individual, you have to submit that IC code to the custom officer. Bank need, whenever you import or send some money to oversee by bank, that time it required custom port, whenever the export goods are coming into India, and for the shipment it required for the custom official ask for the IEC. And whenever you receive a money for in a foreign currency into your bank account, then bank asks for the IEC. Okay, have you understand when you, I hope you have understand when you need a IEC required. Where IEC is not mandatory, the government most recently circular state that not only traders who are registered under GST are required to have an IEC for import and export purpose also. So where is not mandatory, the government most recent circular, means government has issued a most recent circular that not all traders, means all trader who register in under GST, do not require for to require an IEC, means whoever registered in GST, they no need to be required, they are no need to be registered or issue a IEC. Okay, for import and export purpose, the traders PAN will be interpreted as new IEC code in all such circumstances. For if you have an import and export purpose, as I mentioned, for the shipment or anything, for the if you are for import and export purpose, then your company PAN number will be interpreted as a new IEC code for all circumstances. Okay, if code are being imported, if the product are being, if your product are imported or are exported for personal use only, and are not being, means you have imports like you have import some goods from the USA, import goods from India to USA, like something you have done for import or export of the goods of the product, like some face products, skin product, whatever being the product or dress you have to bring from import or export from India or outside of India. Okay, that time it is here for personal use. You have buying from outside of India or sending someone outside of India who is living in outside of India for personal use only, then no need of IEC. But for business purpose of, if you're doing import and export of a product for a business purpose, then you need a IEC. There is no need to be get an as I mentioned, orbital and import and export code is not necessary for export and import operation carried out by departments, ministers, and notified charitable organization of the government of India. Means import and export code is not necessary for export or import operation which is carried by a department, ministries, charitable organization, government of India. Means they did not need the import and export code. Okay, means who is not mandatory to get an import and export code? When you buy a product for your personal, import or export of a products for personal use, then no need to be get an issue of IEC. If department, ministry, charitable organization or government of India doing import and export operation, then at that time no necessary for get an import and export code. Okay, and it is not necessary for whoever registered in under GST, they not necessary to require to have an ICC. Okay, and for ICC export, for import and export purpose, the trader's PAN will be interpreted as new IEC code with all or in such all circumstances. Okay, benefit of IEC registration. So all company in nowadays, all company are engaged in international trade, are required to complete their straightforward process of the register their import and export codes. In order to enable import and export companies to benefit for range designed to support their expansion prosperity, the Indian government has made IEC registration essentially. Okay, why we benefit of IEC registration for all companies nowadays? All companies are engaged in international trades. Okay, so complete this trade. The process will be easy for both of us, for government and the business purpose also. So they have bring out the import and export codes. So what they give the benefit? Easy of business registration. Whenever you doing any import and export for international trade, you are business in a you are dealing with an international trade. So business that are registered or unregistered, they can apply IEC import and export by DGFT website. Okay, and it completed within a 10 to 15 working days. Okay, and IEC also import and export guarantee the document will be that document is provided are confirmed document. There is no any mistake or any fraud is there. Okay, so it's easy for business registration. No return filing. So no return are required to file with the IEC. If you have an import export code, then there no need to be filed. Return filing are required. Once guaranteed, it is not necessary to adhere to any kind of producer procedure in order to maintain its flying. Any return with DGFT is not required, not even to for export transaction. Mean if you have an IC code, there is no return filing link process. If you are filing any return with DGFT, is not required. Not even for export transaction is also not required return filing. Okay, if you are dealing with the DGFT, means IEC code. Okay, global transaction is IEC help you and simplify the legalize all your cross-border dealing. The code also identify you as a verified importer and exporter. So it with the help of IEC importer and exporter code, it help you very easily and simplify. You can import or export goods without any hesitation. And also this code also identify you that you are a verified import and exporter. Business expansion. IEC help you expand your company by bring your goods or service to a worldwide consumer base. Means obviously if you are have a IEC code, you can import and export worldwide, anywhere in outside of India. So it help your business expansion. Lifetime validity. IEC code does not need a renewed and it valid for duration of entity. Means it valid for entity. You have no need to be renewed every year or anything. Any entity may utilize it against any export import transaction after it has been received. Whenever it is received, an entity and may utilize it against import and export transaction. As I mentioned, we need a whenever foreign currency, if you are import or export in a foreign currency, that time it will help you. ICC code is help you for that. Okay. I hope you have understand. So do you have any question? You can reach out us at info@skillanything.com or contact in this number. Thank you so much for watching the video.